Mr. Lynch, knives, I will be hanging forever. Good morning, Mr. Simply, Mr. Simply, 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 like, yesterday, not today, age. It's March 21, so already only practically 11 days to the end of this. Between 11 and 10 days to the end of this March 26, 2026, it's Saturday neighborhood. I think a middle sky absolute for me that's equivalent variable. So clear sunny days cut as alternate with or two cloudy, so cloudy days cut as and vice versa. If also better say perhaps mostly cloudy. More one of these two things, and it's early afternoon, perhaps between early afternoon, practically 13:59. Minutes. 57 to Fahrenheit 14 Celsius. This means it's very soft, like this is soft because basically we enter in spring when only for some visit the adjective that used for the spring is always soft, also for the autumn, but also for the spring. And since the first weather reports of 4 years ago, yes, in fact, consider the fact that China and 4 years, last June 17, exactly there come 4 years weather reports last past summer, last past autumn, last past winter, as absolutely remember if you follow in fact or last past seasons. Now also for the in spring finally we come it, we come them, so we come 4 years weather reports. And previous as well we entered in it and yesterday here in Italy, yesterday, no, told in all the world, entered yesterday, but I mean the hours at 10:01 a.m. in Italy, previous. Ora absolutamente non mi fico poi sono buoni, non poi di non giuro tu sei tre mesi in questo sim so siete senza mai purpose perché ti piace un tuo si mettono per sparare che tutto per me la sigaretta di grisa la sigaretta di grisa sì sì mi è piaciuto il coprì yes many last days vabbè it's still cool at vabbè non forse farà più veramente finché not questo fatto che il culo non è finché adesso non si pensa tanto finché non ti forse il culo o avere in genere in some for me adesso quello in stiano fatto scatto su scienza e da tra scienza tu finché che insieme mi sembra just for it's bad artisti so che mi fa sembra famoso diciamo che idea finché tre operazioni di servizi si fa ci si avvento fare fortini se giusto at important così sta in giro atmosfera ci vedi si fa dove di sa sono una serie cortine, se cortengesi, mi presenta mi scegliere most perfect. Che si suppose, infatti, su Disney ripeti Sky, pizza, minde mazza, attualmente, mentre si mostri Claudi, quattro di Claudi, essendo, consideri trend of yesterday, mette consigli, also perhaps last week, that's not last days, mettersi in last week, in particolare yesterday, consideri according what I read for today, così, my sensation, I think since it's possible almost to shoot at later, it after, it's a lady left, it became 3.5 totally cloudy, if not dark and bigger, and also at my train, if not a few months back when I didn't think of because let's see what happens. Ma adesso io se no, sicuramente Magic and Wizard, si può inizia clear like skipping to the way clear. Oh, band, well, proprio contro, well better, think better, bad, well, bad maximum trasferita good. So si dice, quindi un attimo curtin frase long frase mix fancy un curtin sa stambrava magari think che non so borti vabbè spartivo per te the only for noi si to play scurtivo su beautiful great curtin beautiful painted we branch è stato dipende pazzo cioè quando per su curtin thing si rimette si o di non me come in the comment section or the first comment dopo the third the first comment avrà sfortunato one of them si di comment section I don't know if you can see notice it's quella from this shot near BME on one end or one side I think yes see the green flowers on the flowers mixed plants. Oh, I don't know, fact, or if not, even better, cioè better, iniziate a shot vedere questo quarto video, tu ci veloce, show to you, dovete scattare scendere, scassi come dico, quindi scassi come dico, Roma. Questo Sapson è il rosso da mico, quindi da mico Roma. Over web perspective, also from inside place shot sim to classical shot film and interesse for the serie web ma su titolo es should be normal to titolo if not should interesse but titolo normal to titolo for the best curtine bit beautiful grey curtine beautiful print ben ci sapo sopra the story per scara curtine and the exact this surely cada curtine is stealing over min giano one day so that she need to always seeing this shot sorry this fact above one is a shot also one is but more when this graphic is major as you read the latest c'è sempre situazioni che si proprio sortire ripeti in più tutti e più per te situazioni che si forse situazioni sta cosa tutti forse che sento me exactly se now si che si rit also ne sicurezza so che te che special si che for times e so guardi si rit speech sentence is but also always better visible for me need sentiti ti inizi shot si può insimiti con la gente Regarding the student activism and domestic activism facilities last October in support of Tulip and protest also this activism last year del speech sense so forth continuo it's valid also for it so repeat one thing but also always better visible for me it's entity and this shot at sequence miti con la gene shot and finally from medical keyboard Ajax scanning 40 PG 675 also gets me gene shot. And since UX fact was January 24th, Mangarting Saturday, once again, Mangarting was also birthday of the great legendary sheriff, Twin Peaks Sheriff's Department, Harry Tuma, also known as Michael Hunter on the contrary, because one and the same as much better me, one and the same as much better me, so the great, and Mangarting in these few next days actually dedicated a piece interpreted for him, also for a stranger but as meant his birthday tomorrow, also for Mr. Lynch, it at the birthday. Also John Regent yes through which new shot you can see the actual condition of the game but actual condition since January 22nd since December 2nd 2024 in fact today basically the main pro factories on light in display also that the problems about another the problem at the main pro factories on light in display one day you have a fix it